Hello, my name is Samantha, and I am making this channel in hopes to help somebody to recognize the signs of emotional abuse, and hopefully it doesn't take you 9 years like it took me, and also to find hope in Jesus Christ, and to know that healing and freedom are possible on the other side. For 9 years, I lived in an emotionally abusive marriage, and there were seasons of my marriage where I truly felt completely trapped and hopeless to the point where I didn't want to live anymore. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm a very happy person. I'm a very easygoing person, usually bubbly, and to get me to a place where I didn't want to live anymore, looking back, I truly can't believe that I got there and that I didn't stop it before then. But it was such a rapid acceleration and so much manipulation to get me there that I guess I couldn't see outside of my marriage. And it was just surviving day by day, just getting through the day. And I feel like that when you're in that, people can tell you to get out or that it's bad, but you just can't see it in the moment. So I was in that place, and I did grow up in a family where we went to church occasionally, so I kind of knew God, but I didn't have a relationship with him. I wasn't seeking him. I was honestly living my life. I prayed when I needed something, but that was about it. And I feel like in my darkest moment, God found me, and he just changed the direction of my life. He truly did save me, because if it wasn't for him and his voice during that time, I would have never survived those days or those nights when I was alone and going through that. But I can say honestly today that I'm free. I'm free from that abuse. I'm free from that marriage. And I'm a mom of 3 who just enjoys simple things in life, like my garden and my chickens and my wildflowers and just biking and hiking. And I got my spark back. That's one thing that my marriage took away from me, was my spark. I hadn't heard my giggle in years because of him, and I hear it again now. I hear myself belly laughing at my kids, and even just day-to-day life is just so much better. And I feel bad saying that, honestly, because I did love my ex-husband. I did. I still do. I care about him a lot. But my life has been dramatically better since he hasn't been in it. So I want to encourage you that if you're in that right now and you don't see a way out and you don't feel like you have any hope, I hope that I can encourage you, because there is hope on the other side, and it does get better, and there is a way out. And if you're in that and you're in danger, I hope that you do get out. My ex-husband never physically laid a hand on me. He never did. He never hurt me physically. My life in his hands was not in danger. So I don't want anyone to ever think that. But the way that he treated me and the way that he made me feel, my life was in danger of myself. I did not want to live anymore, and it was because of him. And I didn't see a way out because of a lot of financial abuse, and I will explain that in another video. But there was just a lot of things that he did to set me up to a place where I felt like I couldn't live without him, and I felt like there was no hope on the other side. So if you're in that, I do want to encourage you that there is a way out. There is a way through it. If you don't want to leave, if you don't feel like your life is in danger, I'm not encouraging you to get a divorce by any means. That was my only choice, and I'll explain as my videos go on. I want to explain how it happened and things that we went through. And I definitely don't want these videos to come across as me bashing him. We do have a son together, and I want to remain a Christian woman who is just telling her story. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm just telling my story, and I'm hoping that maybe it will help somebody. So let me start with where it began. 10 years ago, in 2016, I had been married before. So I met my first husband when I was 15, and we got pregnant when I was 18. I had my first son at 19. We got married when I was 20, and then at 22 we had our second son. By the age of 24, we had just had a lot of problems in our marriage. We didn't have a lot of money. He had a lot of addiction problems, and we were just very young. We were poor. We were stressed. We got divorced. We're great friends now. He's remarried. We get along great. Everything's fine. But our boys now are 15 and 19. And at that point in 2016, I had been divorced for 4 years. I was single. And I really just had such hope that there was somebody out there who would see what I could bring to the table, that saw what I had to offer and could love me the way that I wanted to be loved. So I tried dating apps for the first time, which is how I met my second husband. And shortly after I got on there, honestly, he's the only person that I went on a date with from the dating app. So we went on one date, and in the parking lot of the first date, we agreed to delete the dating app together. And it was a whirlwind of dating with him. I've never felt so loved before. I never felt so seen before. He just swept me off my feet. I can't even explain it. At the time, I was 28 and he was 33, I think. 34. 33 or 34. And he didn't have any children, and I had two, and he said that he was okay with that. He lived about an hour and 10 minutes away from me, so I would drive out to him, and we would work out together 2 days a week after I got off work, and we would see each other every other weekend when I didn't have my kids. And it worked for us. Within the first 3 months, he was saying that he wanted to marry me, that I was the one, that he never felt this way about anybody before. And I was naive, full of hope, and had never had anybody do that for me before. I didn't know that there was such a thing as love bombing. I didn't know there was such a thing as manipulation. I never had experienced that before. I never was with anybody that was like that. Me and my first husband, we had problems, but it was never like that. And when I had this man who was just so head over heels for me and sweet and intentional and just doting on me about everything, I just completely fell in love with him. And honestly, I would have done anything to keep him, anything, and just to make him happy. That's just was like my goal in life, was just to make him happy. So I did notice, like looking back now, I see some red flags, like there were some temper issues. And when I brought things up, like his ex-wife had texted him one day and it said like, "What are you cooking me for dinner tonight?" or something. And I asked him about it, and instead of just being like, "I don't know why she texted me that," he just flipped out and like kicked me out of his house and called me a psycho. And I left and I didn't know what to do, and I was like devastated. I was crying, and there was a lot of things like that happened that I just ignored because I had never experienced that before. But within the first year, I had gotten pregnant with our son, and as soon as I got pregnant, his mask just came right off. So the love bombing that he was doing, it just disappeared. I saw the true person that he was, and I was pregnant. So it was kind of like too late at that point. And I do want to share over this journey everything that happened, because there's a lot that he did to me in 9 years. And when I tell the story, it's kind of like crazy when you when you hear it. You might be like, what were you thinking, or why would you stay? But if you've never been in an abusive relationship like that, you don't understand the addiction that you have to how you felt when they were loving you. So the way that he loved me when he was being kind is like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. And I always wanted that back. So it was like chasing a high, I guess. So I'm going to end there with this video. And I do want to share, once I got pregnant, how things transpired during my pregnancy and go from there. But I hope that you will join me on my next video, and that you maybe can find hope in this, and that we can, I don't know, grow together maybe, because I feel like we need to have each other. And I feel like God has called me to help women a lot with abuse and things that they've been through. I feel like he brings people into my life a lot, women that have been through this, similar situations, and I can kind of give them encouragement or advice. But I also feel like potentially maybe men, because there are also women that can be this way too. And like I said, I've never experienced it before until that. And looking back now, I wish I would have had somebody that knew and opened my eyes to it, because I just had no idea. So I hope that you join me on my next video, and we can maybe grow together. Until then, I will see you next time. God bless.